From glorious red carpet to Caja Magica dust, the perfect contrast. April 21st, 2026, Palacio de Cibeles, the magnificent marble palace in the heart of Madrid, glowed under the flashes of the glorious World Sports Awards, dubbed the Oscars of World Sport. On that red carpet, global icons appeared one after another: Novak Djokovic, Simone Biles, Aryna Sabalenka. And then a 20-year-old girl from Manila stepped out, her traditional Filipiniana dress with its signature puffed shoulders shining like the morning sun. No awkwardness, no shyness. Alexandra Eala walked as if she had belonged there for a lifetime. That dress wasn't a last-minute purchase from a Madrid boutique. It was designed by Eala's own uncle, the legendary designer Joao Fonseca, and express-shipped from Manila within 48 hours. Every stitch was a letter from home, a reminder that no matter where she stands on the map, her Filipino identity travels with her. The photo of Eala on the red carpet garnered 48,000 likes in just 48 hours, a figure reflecting not just her personal charm, but a community of millions watching her every move. But the tennis world waits for no one. Barely 20 hours after that glamorous red carpet moment, the camera cuts abruptly. No more warm yellow lights, no more music, only the sharp thwack of the ball on the deep red clay of Caja Magica, the screech of shoes on the surface, and the thunderous roar of thousands of Spanish fans. Eala had just taken down Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, a former Roland Garros finalist, with a clinical 6-3, 6-3 scoreline. Sweat beaded on her jersey, her eyes shone like someone who had just completed a mission. And then, instead of taking the microphone to speak English for safety, Eala turned to the stands and delivered her speech in Spanish. Caja Magica erupted. The 20-hour bridge from the glorious red carpet to the Caja Magica clay is the entire story of Alexandra Eala in 2026, a player who doesn't choose between art and sport, culture and willpower, beauty and strength. She takes it all. This is why this video exists and why you need to watch until the end. If this story intrigues you, don't miss a single episode. Subscribe to Pro Tennis 360 right now. We are where journeys like Eala's are told in their fullest, most honest, and most emotional form. The Filipiniana dress and the power of identity. To understand why 48,000 likes in 48 hours is more significant than a mere fashion photo, you must understand what the Filipiniana dress means to Filipinos, especially those living far from home. The Filipiniana is no ordinary traditional attire. It was born in the 19th century as Filipinos began to form a national consciousness under Spanish colonial rule. The signature puffed shoulders, known as butterfly sleeves, were originally a compromise between European fashion and indigenous spirit, but they gradually became a symbol of Filipino pride. When a Filipino woman wears a Filipiniana at an international event, she isn't just wearing fabric. She is wearing history, collective memory, and a declaration. I am here and I belong here. Eala understands this. More importantly, she knows when to say it. At Laureus 2026, in a room full of sporting legends, she chose not to blend in with a generic luxury cocktail dress. She chose to stand out through her roots. That is the confidence of someone who doesn't need to pretend to be someone else to be accepted. Designer Joao Fonseca, the creator of the dress, is Eala's uncle. He has watched her grow from a little girl with a tiny racket to the WTA world number 44. When he overnighted that dress from Manila to Madrid, it wasn't just a designer serving a client. It was a family member telling the next generation, "We are proud of you."
Take the Philippines to the world. The overseas Filipino community, from nurses in New York to laborers in Dubai to the diaspora in London and Rome, shared the photo as if they were standing on that red carpet themselves. To them, Eala is not just a tennis player. She is proof that a Filipino can stand toe-to-toe with anyone on any world stage, without changing their name, hiding their accent, or discarding their dress. And 20 hours later, the dress was packed away, but its spirit remained on the clay of Caja Magica. 6-3, 6-3, victory in Spanish. On April 22nd, Eala stepped onto the court not to prove she deserved to be in Madrid, but to dominate. And Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, the 2021 Roland Garros finalist, with a powerhouse forehand and over a decade of professional experience, had to realize that the hard way. From the very first game, Eala set the rhythm. She pushed the ball deep into Pavlyuchenkova's backhand corner, forcing her opponent behind the baseline into a passive stance. Eala's cross-court forehand that day was sharp and long, clipping the lines with incredible precision. But the most notable weapon wasn't the ground strokes, it was the serve. Eala won 76% of her first serve points in this match. Those are top 10 numbers on clay, not the stats of a number 44 testing the waters. More importantly, she saved 5 out of 6 breakpoints created by Pavlyuchenkova. 5 out of 6. In elite tennis, this is an index of mental fortitude, not luck. Eala wasn't just playing well, she was playing her best when the pressure was highest. The first set ended 6-3 in absolute control. In the second, Eala opened with 2 perfect service games and gave her opponent no room to breathe. Final score, 6-3. A total of 70 minutes, clinical, efficient, no drama. But the most memorable moment wasn't in the statistics. After the umpire announced the result, Eala took the microphone for the on-court interview and chose to speak in Spanish, the language she mastered through years of living and training at the Nadal Academy in Mallorca. Gracias, Madrid. Es un honor estar aquí. Thank you, Madrid. It is an honor to be here. No script, no hesitation. The Caja Magica stands rose in a standing ovation. In that moment, it was clear. Eala didn't just win with her racket, she won with her heart, her cultural connection, and her ability to make every Madrid spectator feel she was playing for them as much as for herself. That is the kind of charisma you can't learn from a textbook. Elise Mertens, the non-simple villain. If you look only at Elise Mertens' No 21 Inches ranking and think this is an easy win, that is exactly the trap Eala cannot afford to fall into. Mertens is not a player on the decline. At 30, she is in the prime of her career, a point where experience, technique, and fitness converge into a formidable obstacle. Her singles ranking of 21 doesn't reflect her full value. A better indicator is her doubles resume. Current world number 1 in doubles, winner of 6 Grand Slam doubles titles, having lifted trophies at the Australian Open, Roland Garros, and US Open, alongside elite partners like Aryna Sabalenka and Su Weixi. Why is doubles success terrifying for a singles opponent? Because playing doubles at the summit requires 3 things every singles player hates facing: lightning-fast reflexes, superior court reading, and a return of serve that is brutally accurate. Mertens possesses all 3. Her return is ranked among the top 10 most accurate on the WTA Tour. For an Eala who is still refining her serve, this means every time she steps up to the line, Mertens is ready with a counter-weapon. Mertens' clay court record is no slouch either. A 62.7% win rate on clay, a 2018 Roland Garros semifinalist, and a player who has previously stunned Simona Halep in Madrid. Her playing style is tailor-made for clay. Deep balls, heavy topspin, and extended rallies designed to grind down the opponent's stamina and patience. Against Eala, who tends to impose a fast tempo, Mertens will intentionally slow things down, forcing Eala to make decisions while fatigued and frustrated. And there is one thing Mertens has that no player can buy: head-to-head history. The only time they met, Mertens didn't just win, she dismantled Eala. That memory lives in both their heads. Mertens will use it as a psychological weapon. The question is whether Eala is brave enough to rewrite the narrative. Monastir, 2023 to 24 minutes. October 2023. Monastir, Tunisia. A modest WTA 125 event, not a grand stage.
But for Alexandra Eala, what happened there left a mark as deep as any Grand Slam loss. Eala entered the match ranked around WTA 200, a phase where she was accumulating points and finding her footing on the tour. Mertens, then top 30 and seasoned, was a true test. The first set ended 7-5 to Mertens, a respectable result for the young player. Then the second set began, and everything collapsed. 6-0, 24 minutes. Mertens badgered Eala at a speed that even live spectators had to double-check their watches. A professional WTA set usually lasts 35 to 45 minutes. 24 minutes meant Eala wasn't just defeated, she was systematically shredded. But the most shocking number wasn't 24 minutes. It was this. Eala won only 9 out of 32 second serve points, a 28% efficiency. In elite tennis, anything under 40% is considered a disaster. 28% meant that almost every time Eala had to hit a second serve, the point essentially belonged to Mertens. The second serve, the final shield of every service game, became a double-edged sword that cut Eala herself. Mertens read that weakness from the first game. She stood inside the baseline, ready to attack every second serve, turning the pressure back on Eala from the very first second of every rally. As a result, Eala was constantly defending from a disadvantaged position, hitting long and missing angles, exactly what Mertens wanted. Eala recalled crying after that match. Not because she lost, losing is part of the journey. She cried because of the feeling of helplessness, knowing she had the weapons but couldn't use them because her technical foundation had too many holes. That is the kind of pain that has only one cure: starting over, the right way, from the roots. And that is exactly what Eala did over the next 30 months. Mallorca and Rafael Nadal, the king of clay's forge. When players say they trained with Rafael Nadal, it's often a friendly rally captured for social media. When Eala says it, the context is entirely different. Before the 2026 season, Eala spent significant time at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Mallorca, a training facility built on the DOS philosophy. Sport is a means to forge character. It's not just a place to learn how to hit a ball. It's a place that teaches how to suffer, how to repeat, and how to turn pain into fuel. Eala didn't just practice on court. She was exposed directly to the methodology Nadal used to become the king of clay, with 14 Roland Garros titles, a record no one has touched. That method can be summarized in 3 words: volume, intensity, and relentless repetition. Nadal once said he repeated a cross-court backhand thousands of times until it was no longer technique, it became instinct. Eala brought that philosophy to her service reconstruction program.
Instead of superficial technical tweaks, she and her coaching team rebuilt it from the ground up. Movement mechanics, toss angle, hip rotation timing, and most importantly, mindset under pressure. Every morning in Mallorca began with service drills. Not 50 balls, not 100 balls, hundreds every day, aiming at precise targets marked on the court. The results were recorded in Madrid, a first serve averaging over 165 kilometers per hour with a 72% in rate, and a second serve with enough kickspin to bounce shoulder high on clay. What was once a fatal weakness became a pressure tool. It wasn't magic, it was the result of thousands of hours of repetition under the Mallorca sun. Eala brought back from Mallorca not just technique, but Rafa's will, the spirit that never considers a point lost until the ball actually hits the ground for the second time. In Madrid 2026, that spirit will be truly tested. The Giant Slayer's resume: 4 top 10 victims. The data doesn't lie. Since that loss to Mertens in Monastir in October 2023, Alexandra Eala has accumulated something only a few young players on the tour possess: a record of victories against world top 10 players. Madison Keys, former US Open finalist with some of the most powerful forehands on tour. Eala defeated her with sharp counterpunching, using her movement to turn Keys' power into a liability. Coco Gauff, 2023 US Open champion and one of the brightest stars of the younger generation.
This win made the international media see Eala differently, no longer as a regional phenomenon, but as a global threat. Jasmine Paolini, 2024 Roland Garros and Wimbledon finalist, who was at the absolute peak of her career. Eala didn't flinch, and most notably, Iga Swiatek, twice. The four-time Roland Garros champion and longtime world number one. The first time, Eala won outright. The second time, at Madrid 2025, Swiatek had to produce a grueling three-set performance to scrape a win. And after that match, Swiatek publicly admitted, Eala is not just a media phenomenon, she is a real dangerous player. Those four names, Keys, Goff, Paolini, Swiatek, form a list that most players ranked 50 to 100 never achieve. Eala built this list at age 19 to 20. This shows she didn't just get lucky on a bad day for her opponents. She has the genuine ability to handle the speed and pressure of a top 10 player, even if her ranking hasn't fully caught up yet. Elise Mertens knows these numbers, and that is why Mertens will not take this match lightly, despite every statistic on paper leaning in her favor. The 5-0 POI gamble, the survival calculus before Roland Garros. Elite tennis isn't just a sport, it's a mathematics of points, a massive spreadsheet where every win or loss has ripples that spread like stones thrown into a lake. As of April 24, 2026, Eala sits at world number 44. Her goal for the clay season, break into the top 32 to secure a seeded spot at Roland Garros. This means she wouldn't face any top 32 player in the early rounds, avoiding Mission Impossible matches from round 1. The problem, Eala is defending 35 points from her Madrid 2025 result. This means even if she doesn't lose points, her natural ranking would dip. To truly move into the top 32, she doesn't just need to maintain points, she needs to actively gain new ones. Beating Mertens brings in 50 points, enough to push Eala toward the number 36 to 38 range, creating momentum for Rome and Parma in the following weeks. That is the ideal scenario. Every extra win in Madrid is fuel for the entire clay campaign. Losing to Mertens, the whole plan shakes. Not just because of the points, but because of the psychology. Rome is right after, then Parma, then Paris.
If Eala enters those tournaments on the heels of defeats in Madrid and recently Stuttgart, the mental pressure will stack up like a boulder on her shoulders. Lest we forget, Eala's 2026 clay record so far is 2 wins and 2 losses. This includes a 1-6, 4-6 loss to Leylah Fernandez in Stuttgart just 8 days ago, a match where Fernandez's left-handed forehand repeatedly tore apart Eala's weaker backhand corner, exposing a tactical vulnerability against lefties with wide angles. Mertens, though right-handed, also knows how to exploit wide angles. The Stuttgart lesson is still fresh. Eala enters the court on April 24th with both a historic opportunity and a genuine risk. That is exactly what makes this match unmissable. Psychological warfare when Swiatek had to admit the truth. There is a saying in sports that coaches use with young pupils. You don't need to win to be respected. You need to make the winner work for it. Eala did exactly that to the world number 2. At Madrid 2025, Iga Swiatek, 4-time Roland Garros champion who once dominated the WTA with a 37-match win streak, had to endure 3 tenth sets to take down Eala on the very clay of Caja Magica. Swiatek won, but she sweated for it. After the match, Swiatek said things not every player gets to hear. She admitted Eala played at a level completely unlike a number 40 to 50 player, and that she had to adjust her game plan mid-match because of what Eala was producing. That admission is more important than any statistic. Swiatek doesn't say things like that to be polite. She said it because it was the truth, and she has enough self-respect not to deny it. Now put Mertens into the equation. Mertens knows the 2025 Swiatek-Eala result. She knows Eala is currently serving better than ever. She knows Eala has 4 wins over the top 10. Nothing in Mertens' mind will allow her to see this as an easy match, even if the ranking data favors her.
On Eala's side, the lesson from the 2025 Swiatek match is in her blood. She knows she can compete at that level. She has stood in the line of fire with the best in the world and didn't crumble. That feeling of "I can," once it appears, does not easily vanish. Psychology is something that doesn't show up on the scoreboard, but it decides who breaks first in the tightest games, who stands firm when the score is 5-5 in the third set and the heart is pounding at 180 beats per minute. In that regard, the Eala 2026 is a completely different version of the girl who was bageled in 24 minutes in Monastir. Eala steps out and history waits. So it all comes down to this, to April 24th. To Caja Magica, to a match whose result will be mentioned in any future biography of Alexandra Eala's journey. She carries with her a serve honed through thousands of mornings in Mallorca under the shadow of Rafa Nadal's philosophy. She carries 4 top 10 scalps: Keys, Gauff, Paulini, Swiatek. She carries the expensive lessons from 24 minutes in Monastir, from the 1-6 against Fernandez in Stuttgart, from every time she fell and wasn't allowed to stay down for longer than a night. And she carries the Filipiniana, not on her body, but in her spirit, as a reminder that she represents more than just herself. Elise Mertens will not arrive empty-handed either. She brings the experience of 12 professional years, a 62.7% win rate on clay, a return ranked top 10 in accuracy, and the memory of their only meeting, when she dismantled Eala in 24 merciless minutes. Mertens knows the old weakness. The question is whether that weakness still exists. This isn't just a second-round match at a WTA 1000. This is the true test of everything Eala has built since Monastir.
If she wins, 50 precious points, momentum into Rome and Paris, and irrefutable proof that her transformation is real. If she loses, every question about her durability, her weakness against wide angles, and her ability to sustain form will come roaring back. History doesn't care what you almost did. It only remembers what you actually do. Eala steps onto the Caja Magica court. The deep red clay stretches out before her. The audience is waiting, Mertens is waiting, and millions of Filipinos from Manila to Dubai, from London to Los Angeles, are holding their breath. Will she crack Mertens' razor-sharp return? Will the Mallorca serve hold firm under maximum pressure? Leave your predictions in the comments below, and if you want to follow the live progress of Eala's entire 2026 clay journey, subscribe to Pro Tennis 360 now. We will update every match, every number, and every cinematic moment Eala creates on the road to Paris. Don't miss it.